What's going on, YouTube? Marine X back at it again. This is your son's first EDC. Okay, well, this is my son's first EDC. So I got two young sons. One of them is 16 months. The other one is going on 8 months. You know, this is the type of EDC items I intend to hand down to my sons, make their first EDC, and maybe this will give you some ideas, especially as we enter the summer. You get more opportunities to actually monitor your kid and how they use their tools and all that good stuff to make this their first EDC. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So first, let's start with a good, hearty wallet. Now, this is the Ghost Mitchell wallet. This is from Three Sons Leather. Three Sons Leather is an American-made wallet out of Cleveland, Ohio. Absolutely great company. I've been carrying this wallet for months now, and you have just so many different options when it comes to how you want this wallet outfitted. First of all, you know, you can get the stitching whatever color you want. It doesn't have a liner in the inside, so you don't have to worry about this thing giving up. You know, for a lot of things with wallets, one of the first things that tends to be the liner. I like the front pocket carry my wallet. This is perfect for that. You know, you can put some cards right here in the front. You can put those cards that you don't use as much, or you can put bills in this middle section here, and it's nice and deep. So I've never had to worry about anything fall out of my pocket. Just a nice, secure wallet that, you know, kind of transition them away from the Velcro special that they may have been carrying around. Speaking of bringing them to the next level, your kid might be latchkey. Maybe they're going to be going in and out the house this summer. You know, I think that it might be prudent to get them a keychain, and this one is from Esker. Now, Esker, I think this is a British company. What I like about this is as you begin to get more and more keys, you can actually put these little rings on the inside of the keys themselves and actually condense this down and try to reduce the jingle. I like the minimalistic look of this, the matte black everything, something that the kiddos seem to be into, and it really does hold keys well. Another thing that's really awesome about it is that this split key ring up here is not one of those key rings that's going to freaking destroy your nails trying to get it on and off. You know, that's easily added to whatever set of keys you may want to add this to. I really like the minimalistic look of this keychain. Always know that your kids are going to be able to get in and out the house. Now, it's time to give them that first experience of a knife. Now, you can get them a buck knife. You can get them a no-name knife. You know, I'm tending to lean towards the mini Griptilian. Now, the mini Griptilian by Benchmade, it is a workhorse of a knife. It has a nice deep pocket clip. It's smaller in nature. It has really good action. It has the S30V steel on there. It's a really reliable knife. You know, you can pound on this thing, has a little bit of jipping on it, and you can use this in just so many different scenarios. These things retail about $99, sometimes $89. There's a little bit of scarcity, so sometimes there's price gouging, but when you get this at the normal price, you're only spending, you know, 99 bucks for this thing. You can get something even cheaper if you want to get them like a buck knife or something like that. But when you get them something that they've heard of, a name brand like Benchmade, and it just has such good action, easy to use, easy to deploy, and they can feel like they're a total participant and not just something that they're using a finger pull type buck knife, which is nothing wrong with buck. Now, speaking of something that's going to last, the Leatherman Curl, basically the Leatherman line of multi-tools. If I can convince my sons to carry a multi-tool, you know, this is kind of something that's deemed to be old head-ish, right? But it's something about a multi-tool that when you're trying to hold on to a work piece and you're trying to pull something, a fastener out the wall, you're trying to tighten something, you're trying to remove a fastener, it's so nice to be able to have this at the ready. Of course, it does include a knife, so you don't even have to have that Benchmade if you don't want to. You also have access to a fine and a coarse file here, just in case you need to use that. And the rest of the tools are accessed by opening the actual multi-tool itself, a very sound multi-tool. You have access to Leatherman's proprietary bit drivers here, so just buy their little bits. But you also can buy Leatherman's extension tool, and their extension tool now brings you into the world of the more normal bits. But Leatherman's bits here, can opener, bottle opener combination. And then on the other side, we have our awl, we have a slotted screwdriver, and then we have one of my most important features when it comes to multi-tools is a pair of scissors. So kind of has everything that you need to get the job done. We all know that we carry with us the device that allows us to barely ever get offline. It's called a cell phone. But when it's time to illuminate something and have a really decent amount of light, I really believe in carrying a flashlight. So with us here, we have the Streamlight Micro Stream. This is USB. So it is a very capable flashlight itself. It does use it's a Streamlight rechargeable battery. You don't have to use this battery if you don't want to. You can slip a AA or AAA battery in there if you want, or you can just use the battery that's included. I know my boys are going to be more suited, although I'm a battery monster, they're going to be more suited to just simply recharge this bad boy. And recharging this thing is a breeze. Kind of just pull this out. You have access to the charging port right here at the top, and it puts out plenty of lumens. And because it's not a AAA or a AA battery, it tends to put out a ton of lumens. A nice clicky button, has a pocket clip, and it comes in multiple colors. This thing usually comes in around $35. Just a flashlight, I think, is important for illuminating a path, illuminating a set of stairs, finding something under a couch. Unfortunately, our kids, their devices are always dead. You know, the devices are dead and they're trying to find their way. A flashlight is going to be something that's going to come in handy. Now, something else that comes in handy is instilling in my boys is the fact that you need to have the ability to write stuff down. Now we have the Fisher's Space Pen. Now this Space Pen, the bullet style pen, this one has the pocket clip on it. It's still the pen where you take the cap off, you actually, put it on, and it comes near a more standard size pen when you deploy it in this manner. The Fisher Space Pen, it's a great write in the rain pen because you can write sideways, you can write, upside down, you can write in the rain, you can write on someone's back. And if you lose this thing, it's just not that big of a deal because they're not that pricey, but it does instill just having a pen with you. And they're going to be used to a ballpoint, not a fine point pen. So you don't have to get them the most expensive EDC pen right out the gate. Get them something they're used to. They're already in school using this type of device anyhow. And a little notepad. Now, I'm a huge fan of carrying a notepad. This is a Write in the Rain notepad, the number 735. And the big thing about this notepad is, matter of fact, I used this thing today. I had to get some carpet measurements for some carpet that's going to be laid down in my house. And walking around with the guy while he was getting the measurements, I was able to write down measurements because his iPad died. So it came in handy instantly, having a notepad to leave a note, to take a note, to gather, give it to someone so they can write down their information. You ask somebody what their email is, what their phone number is, and you're trying to fumble and get your phone out. I always have a notepad normally in my back left pocket. This is just a very, very easy EDC starting point that I'm going to recommend, that I'm going to hand down. This is just like some hand-me-down type items. And of course, there's a few other things that I would like, Zippos and money clips and, stuff like that. But this is just a good starter. And these are the items I would consider that you would keep in your pocket. So let me know, what are going to be some items that you hand down to your sons, your daughters? What are some items that were handed down to you? I would love to know about that with commenting down below. Listen, if you are not a part of the battalion, we would love to have a part of the battalion. Hit that subscribe button and join the battalion. If you are already a part of the battalion, thank you for stopping by again. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.